more. At the second fence post, do the same. Leave half of the apples you have remaining and have an apple more. Do the same at the third fence post. You can't cut, bite, fold, spindle, or mutilate any of the apples. But when you're all done, you must have one apple remaining for my daughter. If you can't do that, you may marry my daughter. How many apples does the young man need to pick from the orchard to accomplish his task? Okay, so this is the problem. So first of all, we need to do a relationship between text to text. So what happens in this problem is that it reminds me about your geometry book, in which we have some word problems. The geometry book from Prentice Hall, and we see a lot of word problems there. And when we started working on geometry problems, we didn't have an idea of how to approach the problems. So what we did, we had to break down the problems and use a strategy, trying to make a drawing or some pictures or graphics to work on the problem. We need to see what's going on, and then from there we're gonna break it down. So we work on it and check our answers. So what we basically do is try to break it down. So this reminds me of what's going on and the text and how hard the problems look like when we read them, and we have to read them once or twice. Text to self. So this reminds me of my time at my hometown when I was a little kid. I remember that I grew up in a small town with lots of fruit trees, especially mangoes and other fruits that I don't know if you guys know about them, but especially mangoes. And it would be very interesting to think about solving a problem like this, asking when you have to ask somebody to in marriage. So it's really interesting. This also reminds me when I asked for the hand of my wife. My father-in-law asked me a question when I was asking for permission to marry her, and he asked me if what I what was that I had to offer for his daughter. And it was a very interesting question, and I think it is very related to the problem that we're attacking today. Text to world. What it makes me think is that at some point in your lives, you guys will have to make choices. But in all of them, you are gonna use logic. Logic is a very important part for your future. It doesn't matter what career you pick to go. It doesn't matter if you decide to start working right after high school, but you're gonna need to think logically. So the critical thinking part is the most important element that you can take out of this class. So this is really important. Also, if we see around in the area where we live, agriculture is, I would say, the greatest area where people is working at this point. So we have a lot of agriculture here in Fresno. So you guys are gonna apply your critical thinking skills and your logic to attack different kinds of problems. It doesn't matter if it is something really simple. Okay, so hopefully you guys are gonna get a good idea about how we apply this strategy.